Welcome to the Alcohol Reset, the podcast that helps you reset your habits, health, and relationship with alcohol without judgment or extremes. If you're looking to cut back, take a break, or just understand how drinking can affect your body and mind, you're in the right place. Each episode brings you science-backed insights on neuroscience, nutrition, and habit change to help you feel better, sleep deeper, and take control on your terms. I'm Mike Hardenbrook, best-selling author, neuroscience enthusiast, and habit change expert. I've helped thousands through my book and podcast to rethink their drinking, and now I'm here to help you do the same. Let's get started. You know that feeling. It's 6 o'clock, maybe 7, and you have had a day. It's the kind of day where your brain feels like a browser with 50 tabs open, and half of them are frozen. And there's music playing from somewhere, but you can't find the source to turn it off. So you reach for a drink, not because you want to party, not to cause chaos. You reach for it because you just want things to get quiet. And here's the thing, and this is why this habit is so sticky. It works. For about an hour, maybe 2, it works like magic. The world feels a bit softer. But then, fast forward 12 hours, it's 6 a.m., you wake up, and you realize the volume didn't just go back to normal. It's louder, a lot louder. Your heart feels heavy. Your brain is just noisy. And you're lying there thinking, why? Why did something that felt so calming last night make everything scream at me this morning? That paradox is exactly what we're going to unpack. I'm Mike Hardenbrook, and we're going to look at the chemistry behind why alcohol doesn't really erase stress. It just postpones it. And as we're about to find out, the Bank of Biology charges some pretty high interest. So let's start with the illusion, the biological off switch. Because the feeling is very real. When you have that first drink, you're looking for relief, and it feels like you've found the mute button for your life. Well, why is that? It comes down to a neurotransmitter called GABA. Now, GABA is basically your brain's signal for, it's okay, relax. Think of your brain as a busy highway, right? Thoughts are cars speeding by. GABA is the traffic cop that walks out and tells everyone to just slow down. Alcohol is a depressant. And that doesn't mean it makes you sad. It means it depresses or slows down your nervous system by boosting this GABA chemical. This is why your muscles loosen up, that tension in your shoulders just drops. It's real chemistry. It feels like quiet because chemically your brain is being told to be quiet. But, and there's always a but, the brain follows one rule above all else: balance. Homeostasis doesn't like being artificially suppressed. So when you pour a drink and push down the relax button, your brain goes, whoa, hold on. We are way too sedated right now. We need to wake up. And it pushes back. This brings in the antagonist of our story, glutamate. If GABA is the brake pedal, well, glutamate is the gas. It's responsible for alertness, wakefulness, focus. It's the pay attention chemical. So while you're drinking, GABA is being pushed down, but your brain is slamming on the glutamate, the gas, to try and level you out. And for a few hours while the alcohol's there, they're kind of wrestling. But here's the crucial part, the timing mismatch. Alcohol leaves your system pretty quickly. That artificial GABA boost drops off, and a brake pedal is released. But your brain is slow to readjust. It is already cranked up the glutamate to an 11 to fight the sedation. So suddenly, the alcohol is gone. But the alarm system, the glutamate, is still spiking high. That is the rebound effect. And that is Hangxiety. It's that restlessness, racing thoughts, irritability, that really weird, wired but tired feeling. And a lot of us, we internalize that as guilt. We think, oh, what did I say? I shouldn't have. And we frame it as a moral failing. But when you look at the biology, it isn't really guilt. It's a chemical imbalance. Your brain is basically screaming into an empty room. Now, it's still more complicated because it's not just GABA and glutamate. Let's talk about the emotional side. Alcohol has a really tricky relationship with serotonin. The mood stabilizer. In the short term, it can give you a little boost. That's part of the buzz. But afterwards, the levels dip, they crash. This is why the day after can feel so emotionally raw. You know what I mean? Small stressors that you normally brush off, they suddenly feel huge. You drop your keys and it feels like a tragedy. This isn't weakness. It's a serotonin dip. And on top of that, we have to talk about cortisol. As your body metabolizes alcohol, it sees that process as a stressor. So it releases cortisol, the fight or flight hormone. High cortisol makes you feel on edge. So it's Sunday morning. You're on your couch. There's no actual danger. But your body is chemically acting like there is a tiger in the room. Your heart rate is up. Your stomach is churning. And then there's the physical layer. Alcohol, obviously, it dehydrates you, but also messes with your blood sugar. When your blood sugar crashes, you get shaky, foggy, irritable, a racing heart. And here's the thing. A blood sugar crash feels physically almost identical to a panic attack. So your body's physically stressed, and your brain tries to make sense of it. It feels the heart racing and thinks, okay, we must be scared of something. What is it? And it starts scanning your life. It attaches that physical feeling to your job or your relationship. It creates a story to match the physical sensation. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Okay, Mike, the next day sucks, but at least it helps me sleep. We really need to bust this sleep myth, because there's a huge difference between sedation and recovery. Passing out is not the same as sleeping. Alcohol is notorious for disrupting REM sleep, and REM is, well, think of it like overnight emotional therapy. It's where your brain processes the day, strips the painful emotions away from memories, and files them away. It cleans out the desktop of your mind. When you drink, you might fall asleep fast, sure, but as the alcohol wears off, that rebound effect, that glutamate spike, it suppresses REM. You wake up with unfinished emotional business. Your brain didn't get to clean the house, so the clutter from yesterday is still there, just piling up. So GABA calm is gone, glutamate is screaming, serotonin is low, cortisol is high. Yeah, no wonder 6 a.m. feels like a nightmare. But let's talk about solutions, about supporting the nervous system. If the problem is the volume turning up to 11, the solution has to be turning it down naturally. Now, of course, the best way to avoid the rebound is to drink less. That's just the math. But if you're in that cycle of Hangxiety, there are specific nutrients that can help. And to be clear, these are supports, not magic erasers. One that comes up a lot is L-Theanine. It's an amino acid you find in green tea. It supports relaxation without making you sleepy. It promotes those alpha brain waves, which are linked to wakeful relaxation. It's like a gentle hand on the shoulder of that screening glutamate. Another one is ashwagandha. This is an adaptogen. Basically, it helps your body adapt to stress. And research shows it can help support healthy cortisol levels. Remember that phantom tiger. Ashwagandha helps tell the body, false alarm, stand down. You'll see these in formulations designed for this exact purpose, to help find that balance. But they're tools. They support the system while your brain finds its baseline again. And that brings me to the final thought I want to leave you with. I want you to think about this idea of borrowing peace. The next time you feel that urge at 6 p.m., that urge to just shut it all off, ask yourself a question. Am I actually creating peace? Or am I just taking out a loan on tomorrow's peace? Because that's what the chemistry tells us is happening. You borrow 2 hours of quiet, and you pay it back with interest in the form of anxiety. Real calm, the kind that lasts. It doesn't come with a rebound effect. It builds over time. It comes from giving your nervous system what it actually needs. And I want to remind you, you are not broken if you feel this way. You're not weak. You're just a biological organism reacting to a chemical. You're noticing a pattern. And once you see the pattern, you could stop judging yourself and start taking care of yourself. The goal here is awareness. It's asking yourself, before you take that sip, is this going to calm me? Or is this just postponing the stress? You deserve a quiet that actually belongs to you, not one you have to pay back. Thanks for joining me today. Take care of your peace. That's a wrap for today's episode. If you got something out of this, do me a quick favor. Leave a rating and review on whatever podcast platform you're listening on. It helps keep the show going and would mean the world to me. Got ideas, comments, or questions? Shoot me an email at mike@trycloud9.com. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're looking for extra support, check out Cloud9, makers of Daily Restore, a once-a-day supplement to support your body from alcohol's effects, and Rise and Unwind AM/PM, a 24-hour combo to curb cravings, balance mood, and improve sleep when taking a break. Go to trycloud9.com and use the code PODCAST to save 15% on your next order. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.